Hello, my friends, and welcome to Linda Harper. If you're over 60, what I'm about to share goes far beyond a simple tip. It's the kind of everyday knowledge that can help you protect your comfort, your sleep, and your confidence as the years go on. Because there is a quiet pattern I've seen again and again. Many men slowly develop urinary discomfort, nighttime bathroom trips, weak or interrupted flow, and that frustrating feeling that the bladder never fully empties, and they assume it's just normal aging. But very often, your body is actually asking for attention, not panic, not harsh measures, just smarter daily habits. And the most hopeful part is this: many of the things that irritate the urinary system and the prostate area are within your control. Small choices, repeated every day, can add up to a very different outcome over time. Let me ask you something gently. Have you ever woken up in the night, walked to the bathroom, and found yourself waiting for the stream to start? Have you noticed the flow feels weaker than it used to, or it stops and starts? Do you ever finish and then feel only minutes later like you could go again? If any of this sounds familiar, you are not alone. And I want you to hear this clearly. These changes are not something you should ignore, and they're not something you have to be ashamed of. They are signals helping you make better decisions sooner rather than later. If you've ever felt that never fully empty frustration, type the word bladder in the comments. Not because you need to explain your private life, but because it reminds you that you're part of a community of people taking their health seriously and calmly. Now, here's the perspective that changes everything. Many men think prostate enlargement is an unavoidable destiny. But for a large number of people, it's closely linked to long term irritation and inflammation that builds slowly over years. And while you can't control every factor in life, you can control a surprising number of the daily habits that either soothe the urinary system or keep it irritated. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 common habits that can quietly push the prostate and the bladder in the wrong direction. We'll go one by one with practical solutions that are simple and realistic. And I'll tell you this up front: the most dangerous habit is not the one most men expect. It's so common and so culturally normal that many people are doing it right now without realizing how much it can affect the pelvic area, the bladder, and the way the body functions under pressure. We'll save that one for the end because it deserves your full attention. Let's begin with habit number 10: drinking too little water. This sounds almost too simple, but it's incredibly common, especially in older men. Many people reduce fluids in the afternoon and evening because they want fewer nighttime bathroom trips. The logic seems reasonable: less water and means less urine out. But the body does not work like a simple faucet. When you don't drink enough, the urine becomes more concentrated. Think of it as a stronger chemical mixture rather than a gentle, diluted fluid. That concentration can irritate the lining of the bladder. And when the bladder is irritated, it can become more sensitive, more reactive, and more likely to signal urgency at the wrong times. Over time, that irritation can create a cycle where symptoms feel worse, not better, even though you try to solve them by drinking less. Dehydration can also strain the kidneys, slow the body's ability to clear waste products, and leave the whole urinary tract less comfortable. The solution is not to drink a huge amount all at once. The solution is steady hydration across the day. Keep water close. Take small sips often. Start your morning with a glass of water. Have another between meals. And use a simple indicator: the color of your urine. Pale yellow is generally a sign you're doing well. Dark and strong smelling is often a sign your body is asking for more fluid. You don't have to be afraid of water. For many people, it becomes one of the simplest ways to support urinary comfort. Habit number 9 is what I call the tyranny of the chair: sitting too much for too long, day after day. As we age, a comfortable chair can feel like a deserved reward. And rest is important. But hours of sitting without breaks can create constant pressure in the pelvic area. It can also reduce healthy circulation where you need it. Imagine stepping on a garden hose. The flow doesn't stop instantly, but it becomes weaker. Long periods of sitting can do something similar to circulation in the pelvic region, especially if the seat is hard or poorly designed. Reduced circulation can make tissues more sensitive and less resilient. Sitting also tends to weaken the pelvic floor muscles over time. These muscles act like a supportive hammock for the bladder and help with control and complete emptying. When they become weaker, it can be harder to finish the job fully, and leftover urine can sit in the bladder longer than it should. That can increase irritation and discomfort. The goal is not to never sit. The goal is to interrupt long sitting. Try the 30:2 rule. For every 30 minutes you sit, stand up and move for at least 2 minutes. Walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. Do a short loop in the hallway. Stretch your legs. This simple habit improves circulation, reduces direct pressure, and keeps the pelvic region from being stuck in one position for hours. Habit number 8 is excessive caffeine. A morning coffee is a comfort for many people, and 1 cup is usually not a major issue. The problem often begins with the second, third, or fourth cup, or with strong caffeinated drinks throughout the day. Caffeine can increase urine production, and it can irritate the bladder in many people. That combination is not friendly to someone already dealing with urgency, frequency, or a sensitive bladder. It can make the bladder muscle feel more active than it needs to be, which creates that sudden, I have to go now sensation. And for some people, caffeine later in the day makes nighttime bathroom trips more likely, which then affects sleep, energy, and mood. The solution is moderation, not extremes. Watch what happens in your body. If you notice a clear increase in urgency after your second cup, that's useful information. Try a simple experiment. Replace the second cup with decaf or switch to an herbal tea like chamomile or peppermint. You don't have to lose the ritual. You simply adjust the intensity so your urinary system is less irritated. Habit number 7 is frequent use of very spicy foods and heavily processed foods. Let's be honest, food is one of life's pleasures. And a spicy meal once in a while is not a tragedy. But if the daily diet is built around intense heat, ultra processed snacks, fast food, and packaged convenience meals, the body often pays a silent price. Very spicy foods can irritate the digestive tract and, in some sensitive people, can also make bladder symptoms feel worse. But the bigger issue is processed food. Many heavily processed products are loaded with excessive sodium, low quality fats, and additives that can promote inflammation in the body. When the body is in a chronically inflamed state, many tissues become more reactive, including the bladder and the prostate area. Processed meats and salty snacks can also encourage water retention and increase overall strain on circulation. A smarter approach is to tilt your plate toward foods that support calm, stable function. More vegetables, more fiber, more colorful whole foods. Tomatoes are often included in prostate-friendly patterns of eating because they contain lycopene. Pumpkin seeds are popular in many traditional diets for men's wellness, and they're a simple snack you can use wisely. Fatty fish like salmon provides omega-3 fats that many people use as part of an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. You don't need perfection. You need direction. Every time you replace a heavily processed option with a simple whole food choice, you're voting for a calmer internal environment. Habit number 6 is holding your urine for too long, turning "I'll go later" into a regular pattern. This happens to everyone sometimes. You're on the road, in a meeting, watching a movie, or you simply don't want to interrupt what you're doing. But when this becomes a habit, it can create real problems. Think of the bladder like an elastic muscle. It fills gradually, then when it reaches a certain pressure, it contracts to empty. If you repeatedly ignore the urge and keep stretching the bladder beyond its comfortable range, the muscle can become less efficient over time. A bladder that has been chronically overstretched may not contract as strongly, which can make it harder to empty fully. And that leftover urine can sit and irritate the bladder lining. There is also another problem. When the bladder is very full, it puts direct pressure downward into the pelvic area. That pressure can increase discomfort and make symptoms feel worse. The simple solution is to treat the urge as a signal to respect, not a nuisance to fight. When you feel a clear need to go, go when you can. If nighttime trips are already a problem, this becomes even more important. Making bathroom trips timely and regular is one of the easiest ways to reduce the cycle of strain and irritation. Habit number 5 is smoking or long term exposure to secondhand smoke. Most people know smoking affects the lungs and the heart, but fewer people think about how it impacts circulation and tissue health everywhere else. Smoke exposure introduces toxins and increases oxidative stress in the body. It also narrows blood vessels, reducing healthy blood flow. The pelvic area, like every area of the body, benefits from good circulation because circulation delivers oxygen and nutrients and helps remove waste products. When circulation is reduced, tissues can become more sensitive, less resilient, and more prone to irritation. For men focused on long term comfort and healthy urinary function, avoiding smoking and avoiding smoky environments is a wise step. If you are trying to quit, support exists, and many people find that even small improvements in circulation and breathing make daily life feel better surprisingly fast. If you never smoked, protect yourself from secondhand smoke as much as possible. It's not just a preference, it's a health decision. Habit number 4 is skipping regular check ins and waiting until symptoms are severe before paying attention. Many men were raised with the idea that real men don't complain. They push through discomfort, avoid discussing bathroom issues, and delay appointments out of embarrassment. But avoiding the topic does not protect you. It delays your opportunity to act early and gently. Many urinary issues progress slowly. When they're addressed early, lifestyle changes can make a real difference. When they're ignored for years, the situation can become harder to manage. Here is the healthier mindset. Being proactive is not weakness, it is intelligence. A yearly check in with a healthcare professional is not a dramatic event. It's simply a way to track changes over time and choose the least invasive options when something starts to shift. If you ever feel you're having trouble emptying, if discomfort is growing, or if the pattern changes quickly, it's worth talking to a professional sooner rather than later. Early action often prevents more complicated situations later. Habit number 3 is eating red meat too often, especially processed meat. A grilled steak can be enjoyable, and you do not need to eliminate it entirely unless your personal situation calls for it. The key is frequency. Diets heavy in red and processed meats are often associated with higher inflammatory markers. Processed meats in particular come with extra salts and additives that many people do better without. If you want to support a calmer internal environment, reducing red meat to once or twice a week and choosing other proteins more often can be a strong move. Fish, especially fatty fish, is a good alternative. Poultry prepared simply can also work well. Plant-based proteins like lentils and beans offer fiber and nutrients that many people find helpful for digestion and overall health. These changes support more than urinary comfort. Many people notice benefits in energy, digestion, and overall stability. Habit number 2 is ignoring belly fat, especially fat around the waist. This is not about appearance. It's about what that fat does inside the body. Fat around the midsection is metabolically active. It can promote low-grade chronic inflammation and disrupt hormone balance in ways that may affect the pelvic area over time. It also creates simple mechanical pressure. Extra weight around the waist pushes down on the abdomen and can increase pressure on the bladder. Many men notice that even a small reduction in waist size brings meaningful relief in urgency and nighttime trips. The solution is not extreme dieting. The solution is consistency. Reduce sugary drinks. Cut back on refined carbs. Increase whole foods and vegetables. Walk every day. Add gentle strength work a few times a week. Even modest progress can bring noticeable changes, and it also supports heart health, blood sugar stability, and mobility. In the final part, we will talk about the most underestimated habit of all, why it quietly worsens urinary patterns for many men, and how to change it with simple, realistic steps that don't require complicated programs. Habit number one is chronic stress that goes unmanaged and unacknowledged. This is the most dangerous habit precisely because it is invisible and often ignored. Many men live for years in a state of constant tension without realizing how deeply it affects the body. Ongoing worry, pressure, unresolved problems, or the feeling that you always have to stay strong and in control keeps the nervous system in a continuous alert mode. When this happens, the body releases stress hormones day after day. In the short term, these hormones help you cope. Over time, they create widespread tension, low grade inflammation, and changes in muscle tone that directly affect the pelvic area. Stress often causes the muscles of the pelvic floor to tighten unconsciously. This tension can reduce healthy blood flow, irritate nearby nerves, and make the bladder feel more reactive. Many men notice that during stressful periods, they urinate more frequently, feel more urgency, or experience discomfort even when nothing else has changed. Stress also weakens the body's natural ability to calm inflammation, which can make existing irritation linger instead of settling down. Another hidden effect of chronic stress is how it affects sleep. Poor or fragmented sleep makes the bladder more sensitive and reduces the body's ability to recover. Fatigue increases irritability, which feeds back into stress. This creates a loop that is easy to fall into and hard to break unless you address the root cause. The good news is that stress management does not require extreme measures. You do not need complicated routines or long programs. Small daily practices can make a meaningful difference. Slow breathing is one of the simplest. Inhale gently through the nose for 4 seconds, pause briefly, then exhale slowly through the mouth for 6 seconds. Doing this for just 5 minutes can help signal the nervous system to relax. Regular walking, especially outdoors, has been shown to lower stress hormones and improve mood. Quiet time without screens, even 10 minutes a day, gives the mind space to settle. Laughter, conversation, and connection with others also act as powerful natural regulators for the nervous system. When stress begins to come down, many men are surprised to notice that urinary patterns improve as well. Urgency softens. Nighttime trips become less frequent. The body simply functions more smoothly. This is why stress management is not just about feeling calmer mentally. It is a practical step that supports physical comfort and long term resilience. Now that you know these 10 habits, the most important question is not how to change everything at once. The question is what you will change first. Sustainable improvement does not come from trying to overhaul your entire life in 1 week. It comes from choosing one habit and committing to it consistently. Maybe it is drinking enough water across the day. Maybe it is standing up regularly instead of sitting for hours. Maybe it is reducing caffeine in the afternoon, taking daily walks, or practicing slow breathing before bed. Each positive choice is a signal to your body that it is safe to relax and function better. If you are over 60, this is not a moment to wait. It is a moment to act calmly and deliberately. You do not need fear to motivate you. You need clarity. Many men discover that with better daily habits, their bodies respond in ways they did not expect. Progress may be gradual, but it is real. Comfort can improve. Sleep can improve. Confidence can return. You are not alone in this process. With the right information and a willingness to care for yourself thoughtfully, it is never too late to change direction. Your health is not something that happens to you, it is something you influence every day. Choose one habit. Start today. And remember that caring for your urinary comfort and overall balance is ultimately about protecting your quality of life for the years ahead.